We are in Gold Canyon, Arizona, sitting on the ground next to a saguaro. I gotta be honest, this is one of the hardest shots I've had to come up with for any of my videos. I've tried to use the tripod, I tried to use the handheld selfie stick. It just was, there was no way to get someone my size and something this size in without a whole camera crew. So bear with me, but we are definitely going to talk about saguaros. I want you to hang out. I want you to get familiar with saguaros. I want you to love them as much as I do. The more I learn about them, the more I am just enthralled, infatuated with the whole business, everything that is saguaro. So yep, we're going to start at the bottom and go all the way to the top of the saguaro facts, at least that I know, the fun things that I'm aware of, and hopefully get you, like I said, as excited as I am about this amazing cactus. So I think one of the coolest things we're going to start out with, okay, let's see, we're going to adjust us. We're going to move this camera down because I really want you to be able to focus on the size. Let's see. We're also going to possibly get to see some of the birds fly back and forth that have nested up there. So for a little bit, we'll try this angle, talk to you about some of the facts. I'll pick up the camera, we'll move this around. So hopefully this angle doesn't throw you off too much. It's probably not the most flattering for me either, but trying to get you the best shot of the saguaro that I can. So like I said, let's start from the beginning. I got out a ruler to kind of give you size reference, the best that I possibly can. When saguaros are very tiny, when they're first born, it takes them, are you ready for this? 8 years to grow 1.5 inches. 8 years to grow 1.5 inches for a saguaro. This one in particular has probably been here well over 100 years due to its size and everything else, but we'll get to that. But let's think about that. We have a cactus out here that it's going to take them 8 years to grow 1.5 inches. 8 years to grow 1.5 inches. That's crazy. So they start off underneath what they call like a host tree. And that's basically what's protecting them through all of that time, those 8 years. You've got drought, harsh temperatures. That's why I'm sitting in the shade. We're in the shade right now. It's already ramping up to 90 degrees and it's still early in the morning. So these cactus live through a lot of extremes out here in this desert. They only grow in the Sonoran Desert. Now we're going to put you back down. Here you go. Take a look again. I really want you to get to see the majesty of the saguaro. So like I said, I'll kind of scoot on over. I don't care if it's not a great shot of me. It's not supposed to be. Take a look at this. So like we said, okay, so it took us 8 years to grow this much. I think it's fantastic. How long can they live? 100 years, 200 years, they don't have specifics. When I reference they, pretty much you need to be looking at the Sonoran Desert, any part of the Sonoran Desert. Tucson probably has all the information, so that's where you're gonna go. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so how do you get a saguaro? Can you grow one? No, you can't. You can't just plant one. It doesn't work like that. So why I wanted to do this video right now and talk about saguaros is this is the perfect time of year. This is the perfect season. In May, the flowers bloom. They have saguaro blooms all the way up at the top of the arms and the top of the saguaro. Once that flower blooms and dies off, underneath it, there's a fruit. So I have some of them because thankfully they fall from up there. Yes, you can use a very long pole. We'll talk about that in a second, but they're very far up there. So this was convenient for me. I'm able to show you what the fruit looks like. Almost like a watermelon inside, right? Get that up close for you. So like I said, so it has a flower that dies off. This is what the flowers look like when they die off. Now, some of you I've actually sent these to, and you may not have even understood what I sent. This is from a saguaro. This is from all the way up at the top and it blooms into a beautiful white flower, and the birds come and the bees come and everybody pollinates off of it, and then the flower dies. And then you have this kind of, it's like almost closed up like a pod, and it opens up, and this is the fruit. And yes, it's edible. Inside, roughly about 2,000 seeds inside each one of these. Once they're popped open by the birds and by nature, I think when they become ripe, they automatically, I'm looking over another one of the sorrel because they're open up there as well. Then the birds get inside of them and eat them. They drop to the ground, and it does take the animals digesting the seeds of this cactus in order for it to grow elsewhere. How do you say that? To spawn a new saguaro. Some cactus you can actually cut off little bits of and set it to a side, and it'll regrow. The sorrel will not. It will not. It won't grow just anywhere. It is only in the Sonoran Desert. There's certain altitudes it likes, certain temperatures it likes. But what's amazing is that it doesn't, the drought, the intense heat, the monsoons, that's not going to stop it, not going to stop a mighty saguaro. So how can you tell how old a saguaro is? So you're like, well, okay, if after 8 years it's only, you know, this tall, like how does this work? Well, I think after a certain point there is a little bit more of it's gonna shoot up as a plant, if you will. So we have one that's closer up to the house. It just got its first blooms. From everything that I've read, we're looking maybe in that 50 to 70 year category, probably closer to 70 years for the first blooms. For the first arms on a saguaro, it's about 75 years. But again, that is going to depend on how much that saguaro has been through, its access to water, all of that, those things. So you're looking at one here. Let's see if I can get you a better shot of these arms. Obviously been here for a long time. This is almost a two saguaro. There's almost two combined here. If I can get around it a little bit to show you. I don't know if the sun's gonna mess up that shot a little bit. Yeah, here we go. There are two saguaros here that you're actually seeing that have grown together, called twins. So we have very large saguaro here that have multiple birds up there. And so that's the other thing. Come on, you guys have probably seen those videos already, and if you have not, please go back. Owls nest in saguaros, large birds nest in saguaros. Plus the smaller birds, the cactus wren is actually the state bird of Arizona, and the saguaro flower is the state flower. So this is very special to us here in Arizona. So of course I want to share them with you and show the respect. This cactus has been here at least 100 years. Of course I want to sit in its shadow, and of course I want to show how gorgeous it is and share it with you all that won't ever be able to come sit at the base of a saguaro here in Gold Canyon next to the Superstition Mountain. Pinch me, it's magical, definitely magical here. When the saguaro dies, you have these saguaro ribs, beautiful wood, but it's all protected. I'm not sure how much you all know about that. These are protected out here. So no coming out and hacking one down or trying to pick one off of somebody's property or think that it can go somewhere. They can't. they can't. It doesn't want to. It belongs here. Now, I'm not sure if I even talked about it yet. About, like, so we're still down here at the bottom, so we're still talking about some of its basics. It has a single tap root that goes straight down, and then you have the roots that go out that are up on the higher level. I'm probably not saying that right. I am not the plant expert. I just wanted you guys to see and love saguaros and learn a little bit about them. So like I said, you have a main tap root, and then you have a system of roots that are more like 4 inches to 6 inches down that are supporting this cactus. Now in times of extreme drought, it can actually shrink down to almost like, it can shrink off like 25% of its size. And then the same one, when it has access to a lot of water, it can swell. And then you're going to see the ribs. So it's able to shrink and swell to conserve the water. Now you have birds, like I said, you have woodpeckers and cactus wren and flickers that are going to make holes inside the saguaro and create nests, and they're called boots. You can find them a lot of times once a saguaro has died. It's a a solid kind of, I think I have one. I'll try to find one for you and take a picture of a boot. And that's where the birds that are inside of the saguaro are nesting. So you have birds that'll actually nest up in those arms, create nests up there, like owls that'll come back to those nests time and time again. And then you have the holes that are up there that different birds will use also as their temporary nesting sites. So these cactus, these marvels are important to lots of the ecosystem out here. They're a vital part. So then, like I said, then you have the fruit that falls off of them. You got everybody going for the fruit right now. We have everything from doves, all kinds of birds have been trying to get up to the fruits on all of the saguaros. So let me see, what else could I possibly tell you about them? I would suggest that you go down to Tucson if you ever get a chance, because not only are saguaro rare, but down there they have crested saguaro. So at the top of the saguaro, something different has happened, where the top is almost a bumpity kind of, cauliflower type of shape. Please look it up. Those are fantastic. So if you could get a chance, definitely travel and to see those. So talk about something even more rare would be a carested saguaro. We have about 30 saguaro on the property. None of them are crested. We do have owls that have nested inside, or at least we've seen a screech owl inside one of the holes, not the outside nesting like we saw for the great horned owl that was on a different property. Let me see, what else could I possibly tell you? I hope I'm not missing anything with the fruit. Let's see. Now let's talk about the fruit. Yeah, you can make wine. They can make jellies out of it. It's a lot like the prickly pear in terms of that harvesting that fruit and needing to do different things with it. I have not yet with the Saguaro fruit. I'm very interested in it, so I'm still looking that up. So for me, it's still prickly pear. Still trying that out. If you're not sure what it tastes like, I always say it's a combination, like if a strawberry and a watermelon had a baby. I don't know, it's a fun fruit flavor for sure. So if you get the opportunity to try saguaro fruit or prickly pear fruit, if you have never tried that, absolutely. Like someone angle us back up here. Pretty soon I'll be standing up for us. So now how tall do these things get? Massive. You guys, anywhere 20 to 40 feet. They can grow upwards of 25 arms, weigh a ton. No lie. If you have one of these that crashes down, they have destroyed cars. They can destroy walls. This is massive. If this were to fall over on me, I would not survive. And out here next to the Superstition, we are basically covered in them. So when you're around people out here, to them, this is something that is very common. And they're like, yeah, saguaros. But I remind us all that something that's common here or where you are may not be common at all. If we were sitting in a forest right now, yeah, I'd marvel at that, because I don't have those type of trees here or birds or any of the animals that would accompany a forest. Being in the desert, there's desert animals, specific birds that are native here. So it's pretty fantastic. It's pretty fantastic to sit in the shade of, I guess it's something that has withstood the test of time, with the triple digits, with the fires, with everything that happens out here. Pretty amazing. So I encourage you all to look up saguaros, see them in a different light. Like I said, I hope I haven't forgotten something, because you know me, I only do these in a one take type of situation. So this is a saguaro, Saguaro, pronounced saguaro. They only grow in the Sonoran Desert. We're here in Gold Canyon, Arizona. I am the founder of the nonprofit Desert Nature Alliance, DNA. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, or definitely on YouTube. See all the videos. We have over about 200 videos now of all the animals that we see out here on the property, about 3 acres out here. So we've got about 30 saguaros. So if you're interested in the saguaros or more, would like to be up closer to them, let's see if I can get you up closer here. Definitely you can contact us for more information. You can come visit. Yes, this is the home of Sherman, the desert tortoise. So yeah, we're on the property of the Desert Nature Alliance, hanging out with the saguaro. Thank you for spending the time. If you have any questions, if you remember things that I didn't talk about, if you have suggestions, all that stuff, definitely put them out there, shout it out. And I wish you the best and hope to see you in the desert sometime soon. Bye, you guys.